Is it just the headphones?
I don't know. I don't know, but it sounds real tinny in here. Like anything happens.
What was that?
What'd you hear?
You didn't just twice. 3 times. A clunk and then like a scrape. Yes. Literally over there. There.
Crowbar. Is that door closed?
That door was like that.
No, was it closed just now? Okay.
That was bizarre. Was it?
I almost killed you right there.
Listen.
You're lucky I'm back here with the crowbar.
Listen. It was like this.
Yeah.
Did you put that there? We couldn't find it. That's the one we couldn't find.
It wasn't, yeah. It wasn't there though,
I got chills, bro.
That's the noise I heard.
It wasn't there. That was not there.
I don't remember it on the floor.
That's literally the noise I heard. It was,
Bro.
Yeah, for
I
real.
heard a drop
and
then a scrape, and that's the noise I heard.
Dude, I got hardcore chills right now. Me and Chris went all over the house.
Looking for because we found the bottom, but that was not there.
Yeah, we were looking for all of the fire alarms because they were beeping. We found the top right there. And I swear, I mean, I don't remember seeing that down there.
No, man.
I don't remember seeing that down there actually, when we did the initial walk. Alright, let's hurry this up.
Bro, Seth, I like it. Crowbar, stay with me? Why am I back? I told you guys, I don't like the back. And so it's already begun. Here we are, coming at you live. Well, when
Not
we recorded
live.
this. Live to us, not to you.
We are on location. There you
On
go.
location in a super creepy old house. Oh, this house is over 100 years old.
Yeah, built in 1912.
1912, here in this old little mansion near 24th Street in Ogden, which I mention that because 24th Street is a very historic place.
25th Street.
Isn't it 24th?
We're on the corner of 25th.
Yeah, we're actually on the corner of 25th.
You're
so
right.
yeah.
But this area is old, creepy, lots of haunted stories, lots of things with prohibition, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Al Capone.
Al Capone ran through the tunnels here, around this area. It's old, it's creepy. We already got the crap scared out of us. Now we're going to sit here and talk about Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh my gosh.
So welcome to Fire's
excited.
Crowd. We got Zach, Tony, Austin, Chris, and myself, Cameron. We're going to talk about some real creepy stuff in a real creepy place, and we hope you guys enjoy it.
I'm going to get the crap scared out of me, and then we're supposed to go ghost hunting after this.
If we have another scare like we just had, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I don't know. That's it. That had to be left in there, but seriously, something happened.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we started hearing noises in the other room and
It's creepy
Yeah,
stuff.
right, but yeah,
Immediately.
I am going to church in the morning. Like, legitimately.
Wait, this is all it would have taken?
Bro, I've been going to church all the time, but I'm definitely going tomorrow. I hope you guys brought your anointing oil because we're going to need it.
Oh, we'll bless you. Now, my friends, how many of you have heard of Skinwalker Ranch?
Oh, yeah. I hadn't heard of it until you mentioned it that one time.
You?
Yeah.
You know about it?
yeah.
You know about it just
I
from
mean,
what I've told
I've
you?
heard about it. Don't know much about it.
Dude, Skinwalker Ranch is probably the most famous, like, paranormal haunted place in Utah
Okay.
by far. So it's out in the Uintah Basin, right? Yes, Uintah Basin.
Yep.
And it's been around for a long, long time. Main story goes that this ranch is now sitting on what used to be Ute land. So the Ute Indians or the Native Americans were a big tribe that took up most of Utah, which is actually where we get our name.
Go Utes.
Go Utes. But this land, where the ranch sits, actually has some pretty nasty history. So there was a period of time where the Navajo Indians were... Yes, we all heard that.
Get out of here.
That was outside.
That was definitely
Are you
outside.
sure? That was a scream.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and I swear it came from out back outside. There's people messing
That
with us.
mother effer. He's messing with us.
We're getting messed with.
So hard. He's messing with us.
Oh my gosh.
Who's here?
It's got to be Tanner and his buds.
That
I
first
told
scream.
you. I thought I saw
Yes,
the
it was
moped
totally
go
them. They've
by.
been waiting. That first scream was good.
It was good.
It was.
Then he ruined it.
With bear. I need a bear.
I'm scared that they have a back entrance.
I'm going to say, Tanner, you dirty bugger, get out of here.
Do you think they hear us? This is happening right now, folks.
Bro, this is terrifying. I hope it's them. If
We're
it's
hearing
not, we're
demons.
effed.
I was gonna say, I hope you all
I
heard
got
that.
my trusty crowbar.
I swear I heard it come from the basement.
No.
Yes.
Can we block it with something? I don't like this.
Bro, if he busts through that,
Tony's
Open
going
the door,
out
leave the door
first.
open.
No, dude.
Why?
Because then they'll be creeping up and like crawl in and just
Yeah,
grab.
we're not leaving the door open with my back to it.
I'll trade you.
What about this? Is this
no
a door
way.
behind
No,
me?
no.
No.
Come
What
on.
if we just back up against it?
Then you have the classic where the hand busts through the door, grabs Tony by the face.
Pulls him down into the basement.
Everything, it's not.
They're totally
everything-
messing
yeah,
with us.
For sure.
100%.
From everything this isn't.
But how do you explain the fire detector?
It's true.
though?
That was
bizarre.
legit.
That's weird.
Bro, I don't care that it's fake. It's freaking me the hell
I
out.
know. I am.
Just because you don't want him to spook
I
you.
don't. Because I'm
waiting.
afraid if he comes through that door, this is going to go topsy-turvy. And
And I don't hurt my computer.
I'm waiting for them to bust out somewhere.
I got a crowbar.
This is fun, but at the same time, I'm like, you're taken away from it.
Okay.
don't you be scaring us.
Don't be humping. Autocorrect. Huh. Where's the door for the garage that came in here?
They barricaded it.
Where does it go?
Dear God, that's so scary. That's almost worse.
Right?
I say
Okay.
Because we
flip the
know they're
time.
real.
Come out.
Because
come
there's
out
that,
wherever
like-
you
Okay. Oh my gosh.
There's that like, what
Do
if
we,
it's
do we
not?
press forward? Do we keep going?
We move on.
Okay.
You guys are in for a real treat. I have a
gosh,
feeling.
this is gonna be rough.
They're gonna get us.
Gosh.
Give it like 10 minutes and we're going to have YouTube history here.
I don't even want to leave from
We
this
might go
spot.
viral for this.
I think I'm
Someone's
on
about to
What
Pants.
if it's like some hobos pranking us? They're like, we got nothing better to do. These guys.
We smell Beto's.
And now we're just paranoid podcasting.
What if they climb up the side
I
of the
like
house,
that.
come in the top window? Anywho, Skinwalker Ranch.
This is going to be the most random podcast ever.
especially for those that aren't watching,
Yeah,
that are
if you're
just
not watching
listening.
on YouTube and you're listening, you'll be like, what the heck?
Yeah, you guys need to tune in on
Gotta
YouTube.
tune in, yes.
Because this is we actually have a really awesome room that we're podcasting in.
Yeah.
Pookie, pookie, as my kids would say.
Well, here, to make things creepy. So, the reason Skinwalker Ranch is called Skinwalker Ranch is because there was a time when the Navajo Indians basically were capturing and enslaving
The Ute.
some of the Ute Indians.
Yeah.
So, a Ute shaman basically cursed the land because of it with skinwalkers, which skinwalkers are malevolent creatures. This is even creepier talking about here. Oh my gosh,
They
dude.
used to be human.
Yep.
So they used to be human, and what they do is they take the form of, traditionally it's a wolf, but they can actually turn into any type of animal.
Uh-huh.
And they're a cursed person.
Basically like witches.
Okay.
They're like demon witch human things. Real creepy, real bad news in Native American society, to where a lot of Native Americans won't even mention them. Won't talk about them.
It
Really?
doesn't get any
Yeah.
more taboo than that.
Yeah.
Like that's the ultimate dark in their belief.
Dang.
I am so paranoid right now.
I
Anxiety's through
That's
the roof.
where mine's at right too. Like if they jump scare us, I'm gonna probably start crying.
That's what I'm worried about. Like I'm so tense, I'm afraid if I move, my back's gonna break. Just because of the like.
Just make sure you don't hit one of us.
Or the equipment.
I got a crowbar.
Suckers.
Tanner still
my
hasn't
gosh.
written me back, so I'm a little
course
bit
he
nervous
hasn't.
that it's not him.
Call
Yeah,
him.
I swear I saw them cruising by on their mopeds. Anyway,
Oh gosh, this place is eerie, my friends.
It is.
Yeah, it's wild stuff. But since then, that's ancient history. But this ranch for 50 plus years has been just riddled with strange, creepy events. Everything from the paranormal, seeing ghosts, UFOs, UFOs, ghosties, and stuff like that.
Odd creatures.
I hate that my back's turned to these stairs, man. I can't see anything coming
I
down.
like that I can see the stairs.
I swear to God, Tanner, if you look over that ledge and I look up, I'm gonna piss myself.
That's what he wants.
I know.
The lights are on upstairs.
He's awesome. Love that dude.
Oh gosh.
Why? It's been quiet up until we start recording.
You're 100%. Because they know.
Anywho, moving on.
But with UFOs, crazy things like that, people have seen portals open up in the sky to another world.
Yeah.
People have seen things come out of these portals into our world
Yep.
that are not normal.
Wasn't there that one
gosh.
story about that family
With the
like a
wolf?
wolf came on or a bear or something like that?
Yes.
And they tried to shoot it, but nothing was stopping it.
So the main history of this ranch comes from this family that moved out from Arizona, bought this ranch back in the 90s, and they were essentially going to, like, this was going to be their new homestead. They were
There was a
ranchers.
guy
They
who
were
kept
cattle
coming to
ranchers.
visit him, wasn't it?
And they were,
Got your back.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
No problem.
but basically they were there to, this was going to be their livelihood. They had sold all of their stuff, came out to this ranch, bought it, and first day they're there, okay, pull up onto the ranch. They pull up their moving truck to the homestead, the main house, start unloading their stuff, and off in the distance. What's wrong?
I'm laughing.
Why are you laughing?
No kidding. What is going on?
Oh no.
What?
Did you fart?
No. What is going on?
Bro, what are you doing?
Tony cracked.
Okay, this is creeping me out more than anything else. What is going on?
I can't stop.
Your eyes are like red, dude. Get the crowbar, Chris.
Hit Tony.
Tony's possessed.
What the hell's going on, Tony?
Can't what?
I can't stop laughing. I don't know what came
You
over
start
me.
saying red rum, and I swear to you,
This is
I will put you out of your misery.
I just had this image in my head, and it just
Of what?
of like something scaring the crap out of us, and just. But I was seeing it from like, would it be third person, where it's like if I'm standing over there watching us?
I'm waiting for them to either burst through the front door or slowly come
I
down
really
these
didn't mean
stairs.
for that to be so distracting. It just got all of a sudden the image wouldn't leave my mind, and
Oh my
I
gosh.
lost it. Oh man. Sorry.
You good?
I'm good now.
Okay.
Look, you got Cam totally panicked.
He's like, he saw something hanging out over the ledge.
I'm just saying, I feel like every time we start talking, there's slight bumps. Like
You saw
something's trying
something,
to
didn't
use
you?
us
No.
talking
Yeah. To move.
to quietly move.
Yeah.
No, it was really just images in my head. We talked about it on our bedroom episode that it's like I could just picture things, and I saw all of our faces with the light on our faces, just full on, like just screaming in terror because something over there scared us.
I'm gonna.
I'm
If
concerned.
this is your friend Tanner, I'm gonna kill him because I think
Johnny.
he has creeped us out more by not jump scaring us by now.
Seriously.
That we're all just waiting for it, and that's even worse.
That's
just
the
get
thing.
it over with.
He probably
anxiety?
left.
Yes,
He's
the
probably
buildup.
gone.
I know he's probably long
He's probably
gone.
like, all right, I'll stop messing with you guys. I'm out of
He
here.
probably
boring.
walked in through the window and saw we were podcasting and went, all right.
Oh, man.
Oh my goodness.
Do this. Oh my god.
His laughter was the scariest
I
part of
know.
all
I
of it.
know. You straight
I
up
don't know
seem
what came
possessed,
over me.
dude.
Dude, for real.
That was not right.
Yeah, we're banishing
I
the
almost
demons out of
punched
here.
you
I don't know what came
right in the
over me.
face.
I've never gotten like carried away like that before. I don't know what came over me.
I
I'm
almost
sorry.
punched you square in the face and then said 3 Hail Marys and asked for forgiveness. I love you.
Oh, you just make me drink my drink through my nose.
All right, Skinwalker Ranch.
This was a terrible idea.
This was a horrible idea.
I'm enjoying
I
it.
love it.
Oh, man. Again, stick with us, guys. We don't know what's going to happen in this episode.
I know, now they could care less about Skinwalker Ranch and
We're
just
in a-
watching us get spooked.
We're in a very uncontrolled environment.
You're not wrong.
It doesn't help that the neighborhood we're in right now isn't the greatest.
A little sketchy neighborhood.
So
Yes.
All right. Back to talking about skinwalkers.
where were we?
Which there's also a theory that if you keep talking about
Oh, shut up.
Yes.
it's not this is not a joke.
It invites.
The reason Native Americans don't utter the word skinwalker is because they're afraid it invites them.
And we're sitting here just
battling about.
Yes.
Well, now you tell us.
What's that adage? You reap what you sow. You start talking about this stuff, it invites it, and it brings that energy here.
oh god. Now
But
I
listen
just
to this.
wanna
This
go
is one of
home.
the craziest stories.
You get what you
my
deserve.
opinion.
You're reaping what you sow.
So family shows up at their homestead, right? They've got the moving truck. They're moving stuff out. Off in the distance, because there's a massive field. Off in the distance, they see what looks like a wolf. Really, really far off in the distance. Now the dad's a hunter.
Sorry,
his
real
son's
quick.
a
I
hunter.
read that it's like 500 acres or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's the place is giant.
That's a good
It is a lot. 512 acres.
Okay.
Well, way off in the distance by the tree line, they see this wolf, right? And the wolf is kind of just trotting, just like normal. It's like, well, it's a fun little day. Trotting out towards them. And they notice it, and immediately, because the dad's a hunter, he notices, he's like, something is up. That is like, that wolf is abnormally large. Bigger than most wolves, you know? So they're watching it carefully, and it's trotting straight out towards them. Right, and they've already unloaded some of their cows, so they have a cattle guard right next to the house. It's got some cows in it, some calves, and they're the family's there. They're unloading stuff into the house. Well, this wolf keeps coming, comes all the way up to them, like right to the homestead and everything. Super curious, seems super docile. Comes right up to them, and at first they're obviously very hesitant, kind of staying away. Well, then the wolf is so chill and so docile, they're like, okay with it. And at one point, I believe the dad kind of like pats it and stuff. Oh, man. Well, right as he's like near it, the wolf or one of the calves sticks its head through the cattle guard, and the wolf instantly just turns and bites the head of this calf. Grabs it with its mouth, okay? Sits there, it's holding on to it. The calf's freaking out. Dad jumps back, everyone. Dad yells at the kid to go get his gun. Meanwhile, he grabs a bat out of the car and he runs over and he hits the wolf with the bat multiple times. Doesn't even phase it. This thing doesn't move, doesn't flinch, nothing. Keeps hitting it, nothing. Kid comes back with a pistol. It was like a 45 or something. Like, it was not a small pistol. So pulls back, takes few shots into like the chest of this wolf. Nothing. Thing doesn't move, doesn't flinch, nothing. Tells his son to go get his rifle. Kid comes out with the rifle. The dad cocks it, shoots it. This point, the wolf actually staggers back and a large chunk of its flesh actually comes off, like falls onto the ground, and it lets go of the calf. Confused and kind of annoyed, it looks at the guy, cocks again, shoots again, another chunk falls off. Finally, the wolf, not scared, just like turns around and heads back towards where he left. So the dad, afraid that this animal's going to be on their property, decides that he's going to go after it and finish it off. So he takes off, kind of sprinting after it. This wolf picks up its pace and is creating distance really fast away from the guy. He follows it. It hits the tree line. You know, it kind of disappears, but he follows it into the tree line. And as he's following it through the woods, he loses sight of it in a clearing. He makes it to the clearing and he follows its tracks. And all of a sudden, its tracks just stop dead and there's nothing. No tracks, nothing. There's a river running by him, but there's no tracks. Like, there's a good 20 feet between the tracks and the river. It's basically like this wolf just completely disappeared. Whoa. Gone, vanished. Multiple people saw it. Him, his wife, his kids, all these people, right? Later on, they take the chunk of it to have it like tested. Test comes back that whatever that is has got to be around 10,000 years old.
What?
Wicked old stuff. He goes into town and he's talking to some natives and stuff there. And, you know, they're obviously not wanting to say they think it's a skinwalker, but they're kind of alluding to stuff like that. He finds a book in like the library about wildlife, kind of goes through it, finds a page, and he's like, this is exactly what I saw. What he saw, by his description, was a dire wolf, which is basically a prehistoric wolf.
It's like extinct, yeah.
Massively huge wolf. Looks similar to ours today, but a lot bigger.
He saw Jacob.
He did.
I knew that was coming.
There you go. You should have shot it a few more times.
Sorry, I have to lighten the mood, okay?
Why, are you scared?
Yes. I am like through the roof right now.
Freaking out, man.
Gosh.
You are freaking out, man.
Oh my gosh. What do you think the neighbors thought of that? Like, we're not in an unpopulated area.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But for real, like this story, and this isn't the last time they see it. There's another time the wife is coming home and they have a really big like entrance, not necessarily a driveway because it's mostly dirt, but yeah, they have a big entrance from the fence at the start of the property up to the house.
The gate, yeah.
And the wife has come home, and when she gets home, she sees another dire wolf similar to the one they saw, but then they see this other creature that looks very odd. Like, it's about the same size, and both the creatures like approach the car, and she's terrified. Like, she doesn't think she can move. She's afraid it's gonna like come at her somehow. So she's driving, and they just kind of pace the car and like follow her up to the house.
What?
And right as they get close, they just kind of turn away. Dude, it's so... Oh my gosh.
So are they like protectors or what?
They're cursed.
Well, I get that, but what are these dire wolves? Like, what's the point of them? Are they there to freak them out, or
get
they
them
just
to go away? Freaking them out.
Okay.
They're on Skinwalker land.
So if they are, I don't know, I'll use the word evil. Like if they're so bad and they're so big and I would assume strong from the gunshots and different things, why don't they just go in and attack this family?
Same reason that they haven't attacked us yet. It's the suspense.
What was the other creature? You said it was another dire wolf and just another.
It didn't, but something was wrong with it. Like it was a weird looking animal from how they describe it.
It was a chocobo.
That's basically a giant chicken.
That'd scare the hell out of me.
Chickens are violent.
But that's definitely not the last of the crazy stuff they see.
No.
So while they're living there on the ranch, they get to work doing stuff. They see a number of things. Like the dad would set down tools and then he wouldn't be able to find them like immediately after. And he'd think his kid was like messing around or something. He'd get mad at him and like, stop hiding my stuff. One time he was looking for a chainsaw that he had just set down. Couldn't find it, went outside, and it was balanced on a branch up in his tree.
What?
Yeah. Just hanging out there. Just sitting there. Another time, the son had to move like a whole bunch of large planks of wood that they were using to build a fence. So he moved them, unloaded them and put them in a pile clear across the yard. Finished it up, goes inside. Dad comes home a little bit later, and he's like, hey, why didn't you move the wood I asked you to? He's like, what are you talking about? I moved it all. I just finished. They go out there. All of the wood that took him hours to move was right back where it was.
Jeez.
Within minutes. Everything.
There's reports from the 17th century of things flying over that area as well.
Like
UFOs unidentified, yeah.
Like actual objects, like
objects, flying objects is what they, yeah. During the 17th century.
So not like flying creatures, but
no.
Gotcha.
Can you imagine? A giant flying squirrel.
At this point, I don't know what to expect.
It's a dragon.
It's a dragon.
Oh my gosh.
See, I was reading something somewhere about this that they were skeptical of it because the only source is the Shermans?
Shamans?
No, the family, the last name.
Yeah, okay.
The Shermans that...
Same page now.
Yeah, sorry. That, are they the current owners or the ones who just sold it? But I heard...
the current owners.
So it was them. So they're the only source of these stories, supposedly. And because there's no other evidence or any other witnesses, that it's hard to actually believe this.
That's them.
No, they were in mopeds.
That was a moped.
That's what I'm saying. That's
No, that was a little Ricer car.
Yeah, that was like a Civic.
I don't know.
Sounded like a moped to me.
You don't hear mopeds.
Back to the Skinwalkers, too, there's reports of wolf prints or animal tracks that convert to human tracks as they keep going. Like, no.
Frick. I saw an X-Files that was like that. Man.
Well, and so to your point, like talking about like evidence and stuff like that, eventually it got to a point where things were so bad for them, like interrupting everything they were doing. Cows were constantly being mutilated. So they would find some of their cattle
heard about this.
Just dead. Eyeballs would be like cut out with surgical precision. They'd be drained of all blood.
Oh my gosh.
No blood on the ground, nowhere around the body, like stuff that was not easy to do and would take a long time, but was done really quickly.
So what would the purpose of that be? Just
now, I mean,
they feed on the blood of the
we
cows?
don't really know, but there's a lot of extraterrestrial UFO stuff that is associated with cattle mutilation.
Really?
UFO stuff and then blood magic. A lot of blood magic stuff. It's dark.
See, I want to know what the correspondence is between the Skinwalkers and UFOs. Like why aliens and UFOs happen to be drawn to the same place that these Skinwalkers are at too.
Makes you wonder if somehow they are actually connected.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if aliens, I believe in a version of aliens. I don't know about the little green people, that type of thing, but it almost makes me wonder, what if aliens were shapeshifters of sorts, and that's why that's why to this right now we can't ever actually find solid evidence other than their UFOs, but like them landing, because what if they can disguise themselves as animals or different things? And they disguise themselves as wolves from 10,000 years ago because that was the last time they were here and that's what they know? Maybe.
Dude, I mean, for real. It could be anything.
Right?
Maybe they are the spirit in the sky. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh man, I had a real high. Now
you're
I'm
crashing.
crashing
And now it
hard. My
dropped you.
adrenaline just dropped me off that cliff. My gosh.
Bro.
What else?
What if they're just lying in wait,
I know. Watch, they're like up there laying down, just
taking a
like-
nap?
Like we'll wake up when they're done podcasting, and then time to go.
Oh my gosh, dude. But along with that, like there was this one instance where, so they had a bunch of bull, like 10 of them or something like that, in this special corral. Like they keep them separate from the rest of the cows. And
Real quick, is it
Yeah.
weird that my neck is really hot right now?
Yeah. It could be adrenaline.
Dude, I don't know, man. Like I've been feeling like really tense, and now it's hot.
I think
Like
your
the
muscles are
back of
probably
my-
just
like tense
Feel
muscles.
the back of my neck.
yeah, it's warm.
Is toasty?
Yeah, like it's warm. It's like hot.
Don't know what
It's
to
almost
tell
like
you
a
on that
hot
one.
pad was there.
I mean, all ghost things that I know of are all cold to the touch. Is that right?
I mean, I've never had a hot neck.
I
from
think
an
you're just
encounter.
like tensing your
I
muscles,
think you're
and that's
tense, man.
causing your muscles to warm
I
up.
think you're
I
tense
think you're
now.
like subconsciously just tense and your muscles are just
Flexing
working up
those
a friction.
traps. You're trying to
be.
scare off
It's
any.
just weird that all of a sudden my neck just got really hot. So
Maybe you're finally starting to relax and so your blood is like
Coming back.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
anyways, continue on. I'm sorry.
spooky.
I'm gonna kill your friend.
Pookie.
assuming it was him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have no idea who it is.
He's gonna like, dude, I was sleeping. What are you talking about?
He hasn't texted me back, so I don't
Do you
know
think
what
he
to
would
make of
text
that.
you back though?
If you were awake, no.
If the gig was up,
If he did it, he probably wouldn't text us back. If he's asleep, he won't text us back. So we're stuck.
I should text him. Well played, sir.
Text him something crazy like,
What should I text?
was it you that like peed all over the floor downstairs? Just like something to where he'll be like, wait, what happened? Like,
or was that me?
like, who started the fire in the front room? There's a big burn mark.
yeah.
Oh man.
Did you didn't have to go you didn't have to go as far as spilling Get Out and blood on the wall. Jeez, man, chill. It's gonna take a while.
What did you use
How'd
that
you make
looked
the
so
fake
real?
blood? Yeah, well, how'd you make the fake blood?
Speaking of fake blood, doesn't that kind of look like fake blood?
Dude, I thought the same thing.
Looks like water damage.
Blood's got water in it.
Just freaking ourselves out. It's like, does it spell something?
It says red rum.
Get out of my house.
Hello, Mrs. Torrance.
Gross.
I hate this.
Oh my god.
We're never doing this again.
So, anyways, back to the Bulls,
Yes.
not the sports team. So one day they're driving by this fence or this corral where they're supposed to be, and there's none. The bulls are all gone. Well, next to it is kind of like one of those trailers they have next to construction sites where they have like their office for the time. So they have one of those kind of next to the corral with supplies and stuff. Well, they go up and they open the door to it, and what they find is all of the bull are packed into this tiny trailer, and they're all like in a daze.
Oh my heck.
Like they're all just like almost like they're hypnotized. They're just all standing there in a daze, packed inside this trailer. A trailer that on their own they would have no way getting into. And because they hate small spaces, they wouldn't want to even be in it. Yeah. So once they get in there and they open the door, they find all the bull in there. After a few seconds, the bull snap out of it and freak out and start thrashing, trying to get out, destroying everything in there. And Dude has to run out of the way so he doesn't get trampled or anything. But it's essentially like something hypnotized him or dazed him or did something to put him into it.
What if they were like teleported into it?
Yeah, like totally. All kinds of crazy stuff like that. There's another story. Were you gonna share something?
You leaned in like, yeah, I saw that.
Why are you being creepy? Stop it. Talk.
I got nothing.
Oh my gosh.
Just don't start doing a laughing fit like Tony over here.
No joke. Ugh.
It reminded me of Joker.
Me too. Same. Like 100%.
But that wasn't your laugh.
You
but-
know where I got these scars?
No, I was thinking like from the movie Joker, where he just starts laughing because he's upset, and he
His
just,
eyes get all red and bulgy.
yeah, and he just keeps laughing.
And
His
then
eyes, his eyes got all red.
I know. And then he pulls out a knife and kills us all.
I think you're going insane.
What if... I don't want to put this out there.
What?
I was going to say, what if we are the messed up thing that happens in this house?
Thanks for that.
I told you I didn't want to put it out there. You asked me.
On that note, I'm getting the hell out of here.
No joke.
This is our shortest episode ever.
Where's the crowbar?
It's right here.
Okay.
What if it was gone?
Oh my gosh.
He comes flying from back behind the camera and hits the wall.
Yikes.
The portals, though.
I'm not
Portals.
creeped out at all right
Portals.
Shut up.
So listen to this. This is where things start to get real weird. So
even
not
more
only
than
that,
what you've
even
said.
more, yeah, because they've had paranormal stuff, but then they've also have other things. You want to talk about?
The portals.
Yeah. Well, so real quick to speed up the timeline. Actually, one more story from when they're there.
Okay.
So they were hunting, or no, they weren't even hunting. The dad, the son, and one of the kids, his nephew, so one of the cousins. They were just kind of out driving around the property in the middle of the night, just surveying stuff and like looking at it. Well, all of a sudden they see what looks like an RV driving through the property. The property's, private, no trespassing. So they see these taillights and headlights kind of driving away from them. And so they decide, jump in their like four-wheeler, side-by-side thing, four-wheeler basically, and going after it. So they're chasing it down, and it's kind of just driving along, and it's about to come to a fence to where it can't go anywhere. So they're like, oh, perfect, they'll get stuck. I'll be able to go check in, see who these people are, why they're on my property. Well, it gets to the fence, and this thing lifts up into the air, goes over the fence, drops down on the other side, and then continues off.
What?
And the dad is just stunned. He's like, what just happened?
Go gadget wheels.
This whole time, this is the same family.
Yes. Yep, this is all the
Why are
same
they
family.
not gone
They
by then?
invested a lot of money in it.
Yeah, their whole livelihood was this place
Yeah.
and depended on the success of their cattle ranch. Like they were losing cattle, which cost them thousands of dollars and all this stuff. And they were trying so hard not to, lose everything.
It's a motorcycle.
Oh, I hear it.
Oh, I hear you.
Oh, I know. And this actually is associated with, there was this other crazy story about how the wife was home alone one night, and this same kind of craft dropped down onto the property in front of the house, and the door opened, and this man standing there looking like he was in like some sort of spacesuit basically stood in the doorway and like beckoned towards the woman or something like that. And then at that, like she was on the phone. She immediately called her husband. She's like, this crazy stuff's going on. The husband's like, I'm coming home. And like all this crazy stuff. And it's like, she said the guy didn't talk to her, but she could hear him. Like he was speaking telepathically, basically. Like crazy stuff, dude. And so the husband rushed home, and as soon as the husband got onto the property, the man like stepped back, and there was this whole like light coming from behind him, sticking out the door. Stepped back in a little craft and just disappeared
So Jesus came to visit
as a spaceman
as a rocket man.
in an RV, space RV.
Yeah, that's fine.
So eventually, they finally did sell this property to Robert Bigelow, who is super famous in the like paranormal extraterrestrial world.
Really?
Dude's got a ton of money. Used to work for the government. Worked in like Area 51. All this crazy stuff. He's like super invested in searching into this stuff. So he bought the ranch, brought in a group called NIDS, which is basically
NIDS,
this group
NID as in dog, like NIDS.
NIDS.
Okay.
So basically this big group of scientists that he put together personally to set up cameras, to set up camp, and basically investigate the ranch and find some of this paranormal stuff and what's going on. And that's where we'll kind of talk about some portals. But to this day, most of that information they uncovered is classified. Like they won't share it.
Really?
Some of it has gotten out, and some of it's like in a book. I've read the book, but a lot of the information they won't share everything about it.
Oh man,
That's crazy.
Yeah, but these portals are some of the crazy stuff they've found.
The portals. So what I've read about the portals is there'd be a portal that opened in the middle of a field. How do they describe it? It's
basically like isn't it like a dot or something?
It was like a dot that would grow, but it was like more like fuzzy,
Yeah.
like but opaque a little bit.
so it wasn't like lit up around the outside edges or anything.
No,
like,
they say it would just like start. There's reports of it just being like just distorted, and then it just opens up and it's just distorted. And there'd be reports of beings and things coming out of the portal and taking off and running
Yeah.
towards the
Like
the
it would
woods.
crawl through, fall to the ground, get up, and run.
oh gosh,
Yeah, there's reports of odd-looking cattle coming through the portals. There's reports of craft coming through the portals.
I remember one, they said like a large portal opened up in the sky, kind of oval shape. But what was weird is like, imagine just this space opened and you could look through it like a window, and what was on the other side was completely different than what was on our world. Like you were looking through to another world.
Really?
And these craft would fly in and out.
oh my god.
What the heck?
Fly in, set, and then take off. Just go. Who is that?
Sorry, that's me. I'm fidgety.
Zach's so upset.
Jeez.
So needless to say, this place is full of crazy stuff.
It's just weird that it's because it seems like two paranormal things from two different spectrums have come together. Because that's like ancient magic and ancient craft, with the Skinwalkers. And then you've got like sci-fi style things, and it's all
like it almost doesn't even make sense how both of those from like in our minds completely separate realms would be.
Well, what if like the natives back then were more in tune with extraterrestrials,
Yeah.
and they just allowed them to kind of come and go right there,
Well, you got the Mayan and the Aztecs who always believed
right?
in the gods that would come down from the sky, and I mean Egypt had the same thing.
There's hieroglyphs and ancient
We just
drawings.
got the derpy ones who don't teach us how to build pyramids or anything. They just take our cattle and mess with them.
Well, so there's all those stories about the grays and like the little big-headed men and whatnot. So there's theories that those creatures who have been found and autopsied don't have very many organs. So there's theories that they are real, but there's some sort of like robot, basically like some more like anatomical, lifelike drone that they could essentially send to check on things.
Yeah,
Like
there's
almost like a lab created.
Yeah.
there's no gender, there's no
No reproductive
sex,
organs.
yeah, nothing
there's
like
no.
that.
I don't even know if there's like hearts, lungs.
Yeah, but there's also theory that is what we evolve to later on when we don't need any of that, and we use technology to develop and create offspring and everything like that. So I think it's
Gosh,
us from
take
the
all
future.
the fun out of
right?
it. Jeez.
I know, right?
Terrible.
So
Oh man.
spooky.
That's just there's so much.
What's the history behind the ghosts of Skinwalker Ranch? Because I know that they did I don't know if you guys know any of this, but I know Post Malone did a Ghost Adventures.
Yeah,
So-
he did. I just saw that he went out there.
He went out there with some ghost hunting squad to check out Skinwalker Ranch.
I don't know about the ghost stories. I was born. The thing that fascinated me the most about it was the Native American lore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, of course, you start talking about portals and Native American lore, and you're like, huh, what is it?
So you said it was originally owned by the Utes, and then it was the Navajo that came in.
The Navajo came in and conquered and
Gotcha.
started imprisoning the Utes and using them as slaves. Yeah.
Holy cow.
And so the Ute shaman cursed the land.
To
and
get
cursed,
back at him.
Yeah.
Why is it when you hear about haunted land and stuff, it's always because of the Native Americans where, like, you know, we build houses on their burial grounds or something. I mean, I know that's
Pet cemetery.
Or we go to their schools.
Poltergeist.
right.
Who knows, dude? There's so much stuff. Like, I even have my
Ancient
own
religions.
theories from these shows I've watched about like Bigfoot and stuff. So there's this. I've talked about it before, but there's a show where they're Expedition Bigfoot, and they're searching for him, but they're using like modern technology. So they have like
Infrared.
heat infrared and stuff, and they're watching, and they see this humanoid creature hanging out, and then all of a sudden it just starts to dissipate and like disappear. So part of me honestly wonders, like, what if Bigfoot is either some sort of extraterrestrial, skinwalker or something, but he has access to these portals, and that's how no one ever catches him, because like we see him, we corner him, he just
Maybe.
pops out.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
That'd kind of explain the whole story about him being Cain. And because, like how I said in a previous episode, how I believe it's more of an actual species because it's spotted all over the world. But maybe if it is just one, that could be a way he teleports from all corners of the earth.
Just decides to live in the woods with all this technology.
yeah.
Disappear.
Is
Is that the sound it makes?
there probably. Well, like there's all kinds of crazy stuff like that, and like what if it is somehow mostly connected to each other? All this stuff.
All of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just wild that so much happens in this one area. Like, people will regularly go hang out because there's this big mesa that sits over the edge of their property. And people will go camp out there and just watch, and tons of people see UFOs.
No way.
Yeah, like all the time.
Is there footage of that?
I haven't really seen much. I've also heard stories of people who try to go to Skinwalker Ranch. They'll show up at the door, like the gate and stuff, and there's all these signs, tons of stuff saying not to trespass. And out of nowhere, like a black vehicle will appear, like behind them, and almost like following them out. And a lot of people believe it's like Men in Black type stuff. Like black vehicle, two dudes in it.
Because you said it's now currently owned by that one guy who,
So it's owned by this dude here in Utah.
that Bigelow or whatever.
No, it's not Bigelow anymore. So he ran a bunch of experiments for years, but then he ended up selling it. But it is like, it's classified as the most studied paranormal site in the world.
In the world or in Utah?
In the world.
That's crazy.
Like, this is one of the only places they've constantly studied, tests, and they all have experiences. Well, I forgot to mention, one thing that's huge is you do not disturb the ground. Really? Every time they've tried to dig or do anything, all hell breaks loose. Like, all kinds of crazy stuff
really?
happens.
Is this the same spot where they say you're not supposed to take something from the grounds?
No, that's where is
Bodie.
that? Where?
Bodie.
Is that in, where is?
It's like in California,
okay.
Nevada kind of area.
Okay, yeah.
But basically, it's like an old ghost town.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they'll take souvenirs and they'll go home and then they'll mail them back with an apology, asking the spirits to forgive them because all kinds of crazy stuff happens.
That's crazy too. We'll have to go into that one because that one sounds creepy, dude.
But yeah, all kinds of crazy stuff happens when you mess with the ground. There's currently a series on History Channel where the guy that now owns it has assembled a team and he has them doing all kinds of crazy tests. Like, and one of the guys is like basically a rocket scientist, So he's in there he's testing for different like radioactive materials or signals and all this stuff. And they're getting all these weird readings. There's one guy who is one of the ranch hands there now. He was in like a little excavator digging up the ground, and something happened to him where his head basically swelled up.
What?
Yeah, massive. They have pictures of it and everything. Head swelled up real big, and he had to be hospitalized for a while. Immediately after he started digging.
He's becoming a gray.
What?
Dude, it's nuts.
Yeah.
They see crazy lights.
What if he would have kept digging and his head like popped? Jeez.
There's even a part where they found kind of a little cave opening that goes down a little bit. They were using some sensors and were sensing some like almost like radioactive material coming out. So who knows? There could be stuff on the land under the ground that could be doing weird things as well.
What if there's no paranormal at all and it's actually like radioactive and everybody who goes there just hallucinates?
Who knows?
I don't know. Is hallucinating a side effect of radioactive?
I doubt it. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
I don't think so.
Like, what if it is some kind of gas,
They're
though?
dealing with some very powerful herbs.
Yeah.
Is it still...
Coincidentally, 2 miles away from Skinwalker Ranch is a giant marijuana farm.
That can't be validated, but
Is it still a ranch, though? Like, is it still a running, operating ranch? Or is it now strictly
they do have
just...
cattle. They do have cattle because there's this one episode where there was this cow that was just kind of old and sick, and they have surveillance video. This cow's laying there on the ground, like just got sick all of a sudden. And they pull up the surveillance camera, and in the camera, you see the cow laying there, and then it like looks up, and then it just dies. And so they pull up the camera and rewind it. When the cow looks up, there's this black object up above the trees, sitting above the cow. Cow dies, and then the black object moves off.
Get out.
Dude, no, for real. It is wild.
it's bizarre.
This is on the History Channel?
Yeah. And it's owned by Brandon Fugel. He's the one who actually had Post Malone come on to the ranch.
Whoa.
So they're finding some wild stuff, dude.
So it's crazy to me that they bring in all these scientists to do all these studies, and yet in the meantime, it's still a running, operating cattle ranch. Or unless they're just using the cattle as bait.
But again, it's huge. The 512 acres, massive.
Yeah.
So they have the main homestead, but then they have a secondary homestead, which is another place where super weird stuff happens. They actually like took this laser plotter kind of thing and projected it at this old homestead, these old buildings, and even took it inside, all the rooms, and like scanned everything. And it basically creates like a map of everything. But one room they went into wouldn't like show up. So they go in with this sensor that's blasting out lasers all over. And this one room just
Won't do it.
Wow.
Kind of like it's blasting off into where. And they aimed this like this heat infrared sensor while they had this Jewish rabbi come out and like basically make this like chant. And all of a sudden, the room just gets cold. Just this one room just...
That same room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeez.
And it just drops temp?
Uh-huh.
What's this chant?
I don't
No.
know.
No,
I don't
shut
know Hebrew, bro.
Kalima, shuteme.
Yeah, dude. Some crazy stuff.
Yeah,
It's scary.
it's bizarre.
I want to go. Let's go. Can we go?
I'm down.
I would go. At least
ghost
sit
I
on
would
that
go.
mesa and check it out.
I don't know if we're going to podcast out there.
After the night we've
Actually, I
had?
mean, I don't know. It could be pretty chill. Like, we're chilling on top of a mesa overlooking Skinwalker Ranch, and we're just
Till a big
podcasting.
old wolf shows up from behind us.
Hey, that'd make the cut. We'd all have shotguns that round.
Oh, yeah, dude. No more
And
crowbars.
we'd all be trigger happy, which would be the most dangerous part.
Right?
Squirrel!
I just shoot it. Picture all of us every like 2 minutes, like all of us just shoot on this.
Did you get it? We
all shooting in different directions.
the entire podcast we all have on gun ear muffs.
Yeah.
Gun ear muffs and like safety glasses.
We just killed Bigfoot.
Oh man.
Got him.
Get him.
You go to pick up his body and just disappears into a portal. No.
I was gonna say, not even your portal was fast enough to save you.
Oh man.
What do you think, guys?
Any other creepy stories from Skinwalker?
You got any?
I wish I researched more.
You said like all the ones I knew. You covered them.
There was this one. I don't know. I don't remember the full story, but this guy, I think it was one of the like ranch manager type guys. He saw a creature like in the tree line, and so he went after it, and he came up again to this like same kind of clearing where the wolf disappeared, and the prince disappeared. While looking around, he looked up, and in the tree he saw this massive dark figure.
Oh no! F that.
Gosh! And he just booked it out of there.
Yeah.
Ooh, that one's giving me chills, bro. That one's making my.
Was that the one where
hair
it's the
stand
creature
up.
that had like little legs, but the arms were hanging way down?
I think so. Yeah. Just like.
Isn't that creature in Minecraft? Huh? No.
Is it, no.
Yeah. You know, this reminds me. This has nothing to do with Skinwalker in it, and it may not even be true. But it was a story I heard. You're good. It was this.
He's like a cat.
This happened to my uncle and his.
Hold on. What were you looking at?
That's a motorcycle.
No, it wasn't that.
Motorcycle.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I don't know if that was a motorcycle.
I heard moaning.
I'm pretty sure it was a motorcycle.
I was up on
See,
a hair.
it's still going.
That's not what I heard.
That has to be a car, motorcycle.
That's how. Yeah, that's a car.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, folks. But no, my uncle and his friend, when they were, I want to say high school age, give or take, they grew up here in the Ogden area, and they went to the Ogden Cemetery to, kind of spook each other out and everything. Well, they happened to see this dark, hairy creature, and they thought it was like maybe a bear or something. So they're like, oh, let's chase after it. And so they jump in their truck and they start chasing after it, and it starts running. And after a little bit, it finally stops, turns, looks, and it's got these red eyes, and it's looking at him. Well, it breaks off a piece of tombstone, throws it at him, and then takes off. The next day, they go back to check it out. They find the tombstone, and there's claw marks leading up to the broken piece, and my uncle's friend still has that tombstone.
Wow.
Bizarre.
It's crazy. I don't know.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Interesting.
Hey, before we end this podcast, because we're here, I don't know if you guys know, I think we've mentioned it, but after this podcast, we are filming a ghost hunting segment for Men Try.
Gosh, it's gonna suck.
After this
gonna
podcast,
suck
I don't know
so
if I want to
bad.
do that anymore.
Too bad you're already
Too
here.
bad you're here. You signed up for it. Now, here's the thing. We need some ghost stories from around here to start prepping the stage. Do we have any freaky stories from 24th Street in Ogden?
We've got, talking about 24th Street.
24th, 25th, we're right in the
25th.
middle of both.
You got Ogden Cemetery.
I was going to say Ogden Cemetery is real active.
Got a lot of history.
Well, that's what you just talked about, right?
Yeah.
And Flo. What about Flo?
You know,
Where's Flo? Is Flo up here?
Flo's
Yeah.
in the Ogden Cemetery.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you guys earlier, I used to work for Rent-A-Center, and I'm close. Is that close?
That's better. That's better. Don't bring attention to it. Just bring it closer.
You should know this about Zach by
I do.
now.
I bring attention to whenever you want me to not. Anyways, so I used to work for Rent-A-Center. This was 10, 12 years ago, something like that. when we pulled up to this house tonight, I didn't know where we were going. When we pulled up to this house tonight, I actually delivered furniture to someone in the upstairs apartment. And I got creepy vibes back then. And the guy I was delivering with, I remember even talking to him. I was like, dude, I didn't like it in there. And he's like, no, same thing. He's like, that place was creepy. We both were just feeling it. And we wanted to get out of here as quick as we could.
Really?
And here we are in the back, in this same house again. And even as Chris, like as soon as we pulled up, like I started, like immediately it was like everything flushed back in. And I'm like, I don't feel good. And even when me and Tony left to go get food, like Tony's like, are you okay? And I'm like, dude, there's something. Like I don't feel good. Like I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm just,
You don't like it here, huh?
I don't. There's something here. There's something going on. I don't know if it's me or what it is.
I feel something here. There's definitely, there's something lingering stuff.
So out of the group, Chris is definitely our most sensitive to the
Beyond.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. The paranormal.
Well, tell him you just now you were coming up from the basement and
got pushed.
Yeah, we were looking. Should we tell the whole story?
Yeah, dude, I just got chills. Oh,
Whole story.
I don't know.
We got here to set up, and there's fire alarm saying the battery's dead. So we're trying to set the stage, make sure there's no background noise or anything. So Cam and I go upstairs. Was there one or two upstairs? Center and then right. Yeah, center and right. There's two beeping. We hear another one coming from down here. We come down here. We hear a beep. And then it sounds like it's back upstairs again.
I told you that when we first came in, me and Tony had mentioned it, that there was a beep, and then I felt like something was mocking that beep, because then all of a sudden, like I heard at one point there was like 3 of them that went off.
Oh yeah, I heard it too.
But then I never heard it again.
Yeah.
Well,
like the intervals were not
They were not the same.
normally timed.
Yes.
Yeah. So we come back down here, and it beeps, and it sounds like it's upstairs. So we go back upstairs.
Yep.
Then we sit there, and we're just waiting, hearing beep, come downstairs. So it's from downstairs.
Yep. And then we're standing
And
here.
then we're here.
All 3 of us.
Yes.
It beeps. All of us go, that sounds like it's downstairs.
So it sounded like it was downstairs. So we go downstairs. We find one, but it's not beeping.
No sound. Like the beep took forever that time.
Yeah, and it was upstairs. But we took the one out downstairs just to make sure, right?
Uh-huh.
But it wasn't coming from downstairs. It was upstairs.
Yep. Austin was like, it's on this level, guys.
Yeah. So we go to start coming upstairs, and so the stairs go down and around. And we come up the first flight before it corners. And as soon as we get there, Cameron is almost to the door. And all of a sudden, something pushes me up the stairs towards him, like fumbling.
Yeah, like I'm standing there and he's carrying like a stepladder. So the stepladder like jumbles and jostles, makes a noise. And I look back at him because he kind of comes up right behind me, and I look at him and his face is like, I was like, what?
Man.
What?
Son of a bitch pushed me.
So we get up and I'm just like, shut the door.
But it wasn't like I was physically, it was like prompted push. Like I was promptly, like it was like a prompting that pushed me.
Like,
but it
move,
made
move,
me move.
Move, move, move.
But it made me
Say,
move.
Cameron, that he had stuff on his shoulder
Yeah, he had a
too?
bunch of crap on the back of his shoulder. I don't know if it's still there.
I told him he brushed it off.
I look right after it comes up.
Hey,
Oh my gosh!
No!
Oh my gosh! Why did that scare me so much?
Gosh!
Don't start laughing weird
Try
again.
being here looking at it.
What if they were just little eyes like, hey guys?
I kind of wish Tanner was standing behind there with a mask, so when Tony opened it, he got the
He would have died.
crap
Tony would
scared out of
slam
him.
that door shut and he'd
You
just
would have
fall
done that
downstairs.
like the death move. You know what I mean?
That like completely ugly scream where it's not even. Yeah.
Here's the problem: we don't have a defibrillator here,
No.
so I hope you guys are strong on your
We have
CPR.
jumper cables.
We got some bare cables around the house.
Tube and wire. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, so then we
Yeah, but it straight up felt like something was beeping, like messing with us. Like we kept going up and down looking for this beep.
And then we get set up, and we're all sitting here. All of a sudden, we hear a drop. Oh, We went over there because we thought the sound was coming from over there. And we found a case for the smoke detector, but we didn't find the guts. The guts were gone. And we looked around, went in around, didn't see anything.
Walked into that little hallway by the door
there's
and stuff.
Nothing there. We were sitting here getting ready to set up. All of a sudden you hear a pop and a slide. And we're like, what was that? And it sounded like it came from over there. So then we all got up. We go over there, and there's the guts of the smoke detector on the ground, slid into that hallway.
I noticed the guts, and that's why I was like, guys, I think this is what I heard. And I grabbed my foot and I slid.
And it sounded the same.
And it sounded exactly the same as that slide.
And we couldn't find the guts of that thing.
The nice thing is we had the camera rolling,
That's right.
and so we'll be able to hear it again post.
Hopefully, I hope it picks it up.
Yeah.
It was pretty faint,
was
even
prominent.
being here.
But I thought it sounded pretty prominent.
And
to
being
me.
over there was no entrance to the outside, right?
No.
Well, considering the camera's over there, it's got a better.
Yeah.
True.
Point.
Well, I was just trying to think, like, if Tanner was messing with us and he threw something in there to have it, like, land and slide.
He couldn't.
There's no way.
There's no
It was
way.
sitting like perfectly in the middle of the hallway, though, right?
Yeah.
It was off to the side. It was like up against the wall, like almost.
Oh, yeah.
But
Bizarre. Just a little weird.
yeah.
I don't even like talking about it. It's got my heart racing.
We're going to try
again.
hypnotizing Tony, see if he can sense things.
We got a couple tricks up our sleeve to see if we can seize anything.
Yeah, even for the entertainment of seeing me hypnotized, maybe fun. I don't know. We'll see.
It's kind of...
Any creepy other?
No, I was
24th,
going to mention,
25th Street?
speaking of Ogden Cemetery, which is like just right around the corner from here. I was telling Chris on the way over here too that me and my buddies one time, I can't remember if we were high school, right after high school, anyways, right around that time, we decided to pull an all-nighter. We were spending the night at one of their houses, and we just decided, we heard all these stuff about Ogden Cemetery, flow. There's a statue there that's in a roundabout that if you keep
Watches
going around
you
it,
the
it
whole
watches
time.
you the whole time. That's creepy. It really does.
Done it. It's rude.
It's creepy.
It
gross.
really does it?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it
really
does.
does. It's creepy.
Yeah.
It's
You
gross,
can't
dude.
explain it.
So
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
But we end up parking the car and we decided to walk around the cemetery. It's like 2, 3 in the morning, and there's a pet cemetery attached to it.
Ew, gross.
And you have to go through basically a set of gates to go through it. And my buddy's like, oh, check this out. And I'm like, man, Pet Cemetery? Did you ever read that book? And
The ground is sour.
we start walking through it, and I literally took 2 steps into it. And I got the worst gut feeling that I have ever felt in my entire life. And basically, I couldn't move. And I was immediately something was like, you need to leave right now. So I turned around and left and walked out of the gates. And one of my buddies was like, dude, where are you going? I was like, man, something doesn't want me here. We don't need to be in this part. We need to go. So I turn around and walk out, and he's like, we're fine. So as soon as I walk out, I feel fine. Within like 30 seconds, he comes walking back. He's like, dude, yeah, there's something in there. We don't need to be in there. And then next thing, our other buddy, he comes like walking out as quick as he could, and he goes, yeah, we need to go. So all 3 of us at the same time just being in there, we're like, all right, yep, we need to leave right now.
What?
Yeah. Like, and it's the worst feeling I've ever felt, because literally I took 2 steps in and was like, nope. Weird thing is, too, is we go to that cemetery every Memorial Day, because some of Kara's family's buried in there. And same thing, we go past that pet cemetery every time. I can't go near it. Cannot, to this day, I can't go near it.
I didn't know there was a pet cemetery there.
Yeah. Have you ever done Flow? Have you ever? You've never.
I thought Flo was closer up by Ogden Canyon than this cemetery.
No, it's
in the
Ogden.
cemetery.
It's cemetery.
Okay.
So
I
you
wanted
go,
to, but I've never done it.
Okay, so I've done it. You drive up to the top of this hill, right, and you flash your lights 3 times. The story is that she was waiting for a bus, and somebody flashed the lights and telling her to come or something like that, and she ended up getting hit and died. That's the story, something to that degree. But we went up to the top of this hill, and we flashed our lights, and you see a green light appear in the road. And it just, at first you're like, is that a reflection of something? What's going on here? But if you wait long enough, it slowly starts to take the form, a humanoid form, and it starts coming up towards the hill. We got to the point where I forgot who was driving, but anyway, the driver freaked out. So we go driving through flow, right? And so we go, the car instantly freezes and then gets warm again, like as we pass through it. Like you didn't see it in the car, you didn't see it in the car,
Just
or
got
anything,
cold.
but just cold and then back to normal. Just like, and then back to normal, and we took off.
No thanks. No
You know
thanks.
what's even creepier about that? I was talking to my dad about it because my dad used to work for Ogden City Police.
Yeah.
And he told me on his graveyard shifts, because he, every once in a while he'd do rotations, he'd get stuck on graveyards. He told me that he would basically, because that's where a lot of the, you've got all these stories going on, that, this is where a lot of the action went on, during weekends and stuff. All the high schooler kids are going there. So my dad, he knew this perfect spot in the back of the cemetery, dark. He'd go park his car there. And he would sit there by himself for hours. And I was like, are you kidding me? He goes, yeah, what makes it even worse is he's like, I read Stephen King's Pet Cemetery there. He's I read It. He was like, I'd purposely just read these Stephen King books. And he's like, there's a few times where I'd be there for a half hour, 45 minutes. I'd have to drive away, go do some other things and come back. He's like, I just got those weird, creepy feelings. He's like, I would. He's like, I'd have to drive away, come back. So
That's creepy.
yeah.
Gross.
I have to see this statue.
It's
Me
weird.
too.
You
I've always
always drive around it?
Yeah.
I've always
it's in
heard
a
about the
roundabout.
statue.
Yeah, I did it once.
It's in a roundabout, and you get to the
like
side
right
of
in the
it.
middle
It's
of
like
the
it's like
cemetery.
it follows you for like a 180 degrees. So you get to the side of it, and as you start going, you just kind of stare at it, and it looks like it's staring at you. And then you get to the point where it's that other 180, and then it just goes, and then you come back, and it's.
He's waiting
so
for
it
you.
doesn't follow you 360.
No, it doesn't go 360. It's just 180.
But still, if you go down the side of him, he's waiting for you when you come back around. He's like, hey.
So
Then it
is it kind of like an
Optical
illusion? Like when you look at a painting or a picture where the eyes are looking at you, and as you move, it looks like the eyes are following you.
It's hard to just the head.
The
head's moving.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah,
the
the
thing.
head's
Is
literally falling.
Those optical illusions are indented. That's what gives you the illusion. Because it's indented, it gives your brain the illusion that it's actually sticking out. And that's why when you move, it looks like it's looking at you.
Like those
His head is
statues at
not
Disneyland and
indented.
the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
They're indented inside. And so it gives you that
Well, and
illusion.
I'm not saying statues. I'm saying even like paintings
Yeah.
where it's 2-dimensional, but yet it
Yeah, well,
looks
and that's
like
the thing
the
is
eyes are
it's not-
still.
It's not. So it's 3-dimensional, but it's sticking out. So it's not supposed to trick your brain into thinking it's looking at you.
yeah.
So it shouldn't be following
Yeah.
you, and it does.
Yes.
It's bizarre.
Yeah. But there are some other creepy stuff.
Go drive it tonight.
Talk about 25th
Right.
Street.
I'd be up
that's
for
a
it.
good one, too.
Where
As
did
long
you
as
say it was?
It's at the Ogden Cemetery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we do a brief history of Ogden too?
Yeah, let's do it. And then let's get to hunting some ghosties.
So, brief history of Ogden. When the Mormon pioneers settled, they settled Salt Lake City, correct? Was the main
Yes.
spot, and then they branched out. Ogden became kind of like the wild west. You're good. The wild west area.
was a
There's
burp, by the way.
prostitution.
Prostitution, prohibition.
Yeah, they got the tunnels underneath the ground.
It was there's a lot of unsettling folk coming around this part, and a lot of things happen. A lot of murders, a lot of deaths, a lot of shootings. So anyway, that's kind of the history.
Violent
Well, it's
past.
kind of.
Al Capone was here.
I was gonna say, was it proven that Al Capone used
Yes,
those tunnels,
Yes.
Him himself, I thought it was his.
or just
It
his
was
like?
considered the murder capital of Utah
Yeah.
at the time. The
No,
street.
I'm
Before
pretty
West
sure
Valley.
it's been
yeah.
noted that Al Capone was here.
here.
And he used those tunnels. Like he legit was here. It wasn't just his men. Like Al Capone was here.
But people say that if you like are brave enough to traverse these tunnels, you'll hear like screams, like blood curdling screams and full body ghosts.
There's
you'll
some
see things.
YouTube videos on it. I've actually looked up a few of them. There are some creepy A stuff down there.
Really?
Oh yeah, like the owner of there's a hair salon over there, Hardy Salon or something. I can't remember what it is. Anyways, they have a couple YouTube videos up of them going down there, and there's like old stuff like that dates back to the 1800s. That's still underneath there, just creepy, weird stuff.
Pretty
that's in the
colorful
rubble
history,
down there. Yeah.
Well, and even here in Ogden, like you have a couple of other haunted places. Like you have Ben Lomond Suites, which is like a hotel, but it was
not Ben
built in
Lomond anymore,
1927, and people have apparently a mother and a son died.
Oh, dude, that is so that I can't handle that story. That story is so.
How
dark
she
to
drowned
me.
in the bathtub.
Oh, maybe that. Oh no, I'm thinking of the family down off 24th at that hotel.
What's that one?
Dude, that story is so dark. I
think
can't even
is that
handle
in
it.
Ogden or is that in Salt Lake?
No, that's here in Ogden. That's right off of 24th.
That's the one where the whole family, the mom went crazy and threw her entire family off the balcony.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Gross.
Sorry.
I didn't want to talk about it.
Sorry.
Wow.
I can't even handle. Oh, that one where they.
Oh, you can't handle the thing with the.
Oh, it's so dark, man. It literally breaks my soul to think about it.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Ooh, well,
You
with
feel
this,
that?
yeah, I do. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Cool. Keep
It
going.
like came from one side of my body to the other.
F that. Are you for real?
I just felt it.
Oh gosh.
I saw it.
Shut up.
For real.
My skin right now is like all goosebumps. My hair is all straight up.
Cool.
I don't know if it's you guys just talking about it, but like, yeah, it was
my
right after
hand
you two
cold?
said something.
No, it's one.
Okay.
Your hair's
Feels
sticking
weird
up
though.
though.
I hate all
Yeah,
of
it
it.
is, dude.
Yeah,
His
your
hair's always standing up.
No,
that's
I like. I feel it.
That's
like
a
every
self-defense
strand of hair
mechanism.
is sticking
You're
up.
fluffing up.
I bet if you watch the video, you'll see me stare at something come this way, and then all of a sudden you twitch.
Bro.
Watch the video.
gosh! Oh my hair!
Look, it's illuminated.
Oh my gosh! Oh gosh!
He's gonna start doing that cat thing where they bounce sideways.
Oh my gosh!
Like I said, there's stuff. There's nothing like true.
There's nothing heavy here, but
There's
it's-
stuff going on.
There's stuff going on.
There's history. Yeah.
One time, I think maybe to like capitalize on Halloween, I think we have one truly dark episode where we do share the real dark history of Utah
Okay.
or like some state, because that story,
That one's it's messed
There's
up.
quite a
that
few.
I don't
one
know. That
literally,
gets so heavy though.
it does, but it's Halloween.
Well, you can go to the
Halloween can be
season.
spooky, not
place of the
heavy.
Mormon
Yeah, that's
massacre.
true.
That area is supposed
I've
to be.
been there. It's
Yeah.
it's
Wait, say that again.
it's
The
wild.
Mormon massacre.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah.
It's wild because it's cold and it's like eerily quiet.
Where's it at?
It's in St. George.
Ogden Canyon.
It's haunted.
Yes.
It's on this list.
Ogden Canyon, and I've done that hike in the dark. It's bizarre. There's some bizarre stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Union Station.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Union
haunted.
Station.
I've
There
done
was a
that.
train crash.
I've done the ghost tour of Union Station.
I want to.
Promontory.
Yeah, Promontory Point.
What's that? Dove Creek Camp.
Yeah.
That's out
That's-
by Promontory
that's
Point.
Prom-
Oh, is that that's what's out there?
There
Okay.
were a lot of Chinese
Yeah.
workers that came over to work on the railroads, and a lot of them died. And so
Well, were
there's
they
a lot of
workers or
stories.
were they slaves?
I don't think they were slaves.
No, they
but
were
they
workers.
were workers.
They were just
but
workers.
Very
Okay.
poor
Indentured.
conditions.
It was like indentured
Yeah.
servitude.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
But because they had to work like extremely fast because they were trying to meet a deadline of connecting the Transcontinental Railroad.
it was
And so a
brutal.
lot of people died. It was brutal conditions.
Yeah.
So there's stories of when you go out there, which we tried to go out there one time, come to find out we were in the wrong place.
Yeah.
I
Correct?
was with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
But there's that weird picture of me with
Yeah.
a creepy face.
Yeah.
That was at the wrong place.
Yeah.
It wasn't right.
we
yeah.
ended up just finding some.
Old decrepit barn.
Yeah.
It was literally like almost falling over.
Yeah.
And there's the face.
Yeah, I have a really creepy picture of Cam by the fence looking at the barn, and there's this creepy face in an orb.
That popped up in my Facebook memories not too long ago.
Gross.
You gotta do the Ogden. We'll have to do the Ogden Canyon hike.
Yeah.
That one's bizarre.
I'd be down. A lot of creepy stuff.
Yes.
I mean, in a lot of places, but
So
more-
fascinating and
yeah.
so creepy at the same time.
There's surprisingly a lot in Utah. But Now I think it's time for us to go and get the crap scared out of ourselves as we search for ghosts and hopefully don't find real people.
We don't get scared.
They've been watching.
We got our little red canary over here.
That's right. He starts beeping.
That's why he gets the bad feeling first, because he doesn't have a soul and he walks into a place filled with souls. And he's like,
He's like, what the hell is that?
Oh my gosh. Well, guys, thanks for joining us in this special edition of Five's a Crowd on site in a real creepy location.
Yes.
We hope you enjoyed it, even though it was a little sporadic. We
Remember,
didn't know what was going to happen.
check this out on YouTube. If you're listening to us on the podcast, I'm sure you're just as entertained, but because we're on location, check us out on YouTube.
Yep.
It's Five's a Crowd podcast. You have to remember to put in podcast, but check us out there.
We got a really dope scene here.
Yes.
I'm legit curious too. If you guys are watching this video and you see anything happen in the background that we haven't seen, please timestamp it. Tell us.
Make a comment.
Make a comment, because I'd be intrigued to see if there was anything going on behind us, or
Especially
happening.
whatever Chris saw walk behind Cam.
F that. And in the off chance that you don't know about our other channel, Men Try Videos, check it out there. We're going to go be posting the ghost hunt video following this. So check it out. Everything's linked below. There's a lot.
Oh, man. Thanks, guys.
Oh, goody.
We appreciate your support. We hope to see you next time.
Thanks for being part of this crowd.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.